Hey, my name is Madison Poole, and I will be answering the Unit 4 Case Connections. This is the 10-minute video. So I will be answering the Case 1 and Case 2 questions. Now, starting with our Case 1, the best diagnostic option to distinguish between the urea cycle and a disorder within the beta oxidation would be the plasma glutamine test. The glutamine is a non-toxic, non-essential amino acid, and it takes part in the detoxification and transport of ammonia. In healthy individuals, the liver converts ammonia into urea, and then it is excreted from the body as urine. But in individuals that have a urea cycle disorder, they will actually have elevated free ammonia levels within the body, and they can also have elevated plasma glutamine levels within the body. Now, on the flip side, glutamine levels are normal in beta oxidation defects, so people with deficiencies in the beta oxidations. Now, concerning our case, specifically for the newborn individual, according to our basis data that was taken from the lab reports, this is actually a classic case or a classic example of ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency, also known as OTC deficiency for short. And this is an X-linked recessive urea cycle disorder. Since this is an X-linked trait, it affects males and females differently. For the males, their chromosome structure is XY, so the symptoms aren't as prominent in them, but they're still considered a severe disease. Now, their symptoms is very high serum ammonia levels. But for girls, they are chromosome XX, so it affects them more. And the characteristics for this are hyperammonemia, lethargy, as well as apnea-like features or symptoms. Now, as a result of the deficiency of the ornithine transcarbamylase deficiency, carbamyl phosphate accumulates in the mitochondria, and then it leaks out into the plasma. It is then redirected into pyrimidine synthesis, and this results in raised levels of orotic acid in the urine. Now, these raised levels of orotic acid, helps to distinguish between OTC deficiency from carbamyl phosphatase synthetase 1, or commonly known, shortened as CPS1. Sorry, I lost my place. And the most likely deficient enzyme in this case will be the ornithine transcarbamylase, or OTC, and the enzyme least likely to be impaired will actually be the carbamyl phosphatase synthetase 1, or the CPS1 enzyme. Now, concerning the other tests, diagnostic tests that were given, the plasma glutamine test is definitely our best option in dealing with this specific case because of what it deals with. The other tests were not specific enough for our lab report diagnostics. So the blood glucose test shows the amount of sugar levels within the blood. This isn't useful for us because we're dealing with urea disorders, so we want to be dealing with the urine. And this would be helpful for diabetics to see their blood sugar levels, and it could also be effective if we got a urine sample and saw sugar in the blood for diabetics, but in this case it's not going to help us with this disorder. The urinary acid test shows purine compounds found in the body, and they would be able to show the levels of uric acid within the blood or within the urine, but that's not going to help us with this urea deficiency disorder. It's just not in the range that we need. And the serum fatty acid diagnostic test indicates the major fatty acids among red blood cells. And this isn't helpful for diagnosing a urea cycle disorder because it's not dealing with the urea or ammonia. It's not a urine test, so it's not helpful to us. It's dealing with blood. Now, moving on to the case 2. So in fetal ketonuria, there is a deficiency for the gene coding for phenylalanine hydroxylase. And this actually does not allow tyrosine to be produced, which makes it an essential amino acid for us in this case. So phenylalanine cannot be metabolized in the body, and this causes a buildup in the brain, which leads to dire symptoms. And for us, the symptoms include failure to grow and expand and thrive, an actual growth shortage, as well as mental retardation to the extreme extent in like kind of the final rounds. Another cause is deficiency of tyrosine, which is essential for the synthesis of thyroid hormones, and melanin. And thyroid hormones are extremely important to the body because they regulate your heart, digestive function, and bone maintenance as well. So they're throughout the entire body. Now, for our, I don't know how well this can be seen, the chart that was given, in patient A, the blood level of phenylalanine is actually not decreased, but it's slightly increased. And in patient B, it decreased on the loading of the tetrahydrobiopterin, or the BH4. So patient B actually has a deficiency in the BH4, while patient A has phenylalanine hydroxylase deficiency. Thank you.